Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel here today, and we are back for another Walking Dead Top 5. And today we're going to be talking about the top 5 hardest decisions you have to make in The Walking Dead. Obviously, there is a ton of choices, like I said, that are heartbreaking, handshaking, cry-bringing, etc. There's just so much, honestly. And honestly, there's too much, so I'm going to be condensing this down to a top 5 list. This is my personal opinion. Obviously, you can leave your top 5 list down below and see what you think of my list. Obviously, you guys got some general ideas what my last couple ones should be, but there's a lot of heartbreaking decisions and tough decisions. But I'm basing this based on toughness. At the current time, first time I play it, this is how I'm judging it. Is when I go straight into the game, I have no idea what's going on, and this decision pops up. I basically look at the ones that I've had to pause before in the past, or at least, take some time to think about, because these choices, some of them are really, some of them are really, oh my goodness, is the hard-ass choice, and some of them are, in the middle. So, hopefully you guys do enjoy this video, guys. If we do, can go for 100 likes on the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. And again, please make sure to leave your top 5 hardest choices list down below. And obviously, this is ranging from Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3. I'm not including 400 Days or Michonne, because I didn't think, I really wasn't a big fan of those. So, let's get straight into it.
I just gotta pull myself out.
You need help, Luke!
The ice is too thin. I got it.
You need to help.
No!
Clem,
You're
go!
gonna fall through.
Go help
No,
him!
Clem, do not.
Just go back for him. You're light. You
Stop
can do it.
telling her that. Clem, look at me. Pull out your gun and shoot those damn walkers, okay? Just give me a little time.
So, number 5 is the Luke choice here, where we have to help Luke or cover Luke, as well as the choice after, where we either break the ice / don't do anything. Now, the reason I put this number 5 on, I put this above other choices, is because the impact of this is not an expected situation. I knew Luke, obviously, at the time of this action, was injured. And obviously, like I said, instead of going through the ice, we could have easily gone around the side. I thought that would have been smarter. But obviously, Telltale and the teleporting walkers had to come up. And then obviously, of course, I'd think, don't run through the ice, don't go fast. Of course, the slowest one out of all the people is the one that ends up getting under the ice, which is the most ironic, circumstance and an unfortunate one. And obviously why this becomes even a more important, this is like a double kind of choice, because after the original choice, you could see here, is that we have to free Luke from the ice. And obviously freeing Luke from the ice, obviously at the time you don't know what would happen to Clem. And obviously another reason why this has become a harder decision, because at the same expense of trying to save Luke, you're actually going to end up saving Bonnie, in which you figure out later, saving Bonnie actually wasn't a good idea, because Bonnie ends up backstabbing you in the back. So it's like, you want to save Luke, but then you're going to be bringing the backstabber along with you. But obviously, the reason this was a top 5 hard choice for me is because Luke is one of my favorite characters, and man, I really, really, really felt, just depressed by this choice. Honestly, just seeing him die no matter what we tried, even trying to save him, it's just why it made such a hard choice, having to risk myself to save him. And obviously that it being such an impactful choice as well. This was definitely, it was a hard choice for me to go for him, because they don't want, at the same time, you don't want to risk yourself, because you're Clem. Clem's the main important character, but obviously you want to go for Luke. And then obviously, like I said again, the Bonnie part, saving Bonnie. Oh my God, I have to save Luke and try to save, and then Bonnie has to come up. Oh man, drives me nuts. That's our number 5. Let's go on to number 4.
Think about Alvy here. Please, Clem, just do as I'm asking. This one last time.
Number 4 this is probably one of the saddest decisions I've ever had to experience, is the leave Kenny at Wellington / go with him. And now, why I say this is a hard decision is because for some people, that even if they do like Kenny, this is not an obvious decision, and this is just not like my own personal opinion coming out. Obviously, I go with Kenny to the end, but my opinion is not, like I said, straight out. Even though people do love Kenny, this decision is difficult, because like I said, we do see through season 2, Kenny's mentally, his mental state just goes down, 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 down. And obviously, you know, we want to calm him down. But like I said, there's some of the diehards that go with him till the end. And there's some that, like I said, he's crazy as hell. But hell, man, I've been with him since season 1. I go with him. So this is obviously in the choice that you pick him over Jane. And then obviously you come up to Wellington here and make one of the probably hardest decisions. And I admit I did cry when this scene happened. Because just said the emotional level was just at a height. I mean, they were crying, I was crying. I mean, I saw a ton of people playing this. They were crying. This choice was just, I mean, it wasn't just plain old hard. It was just sad as fuck, and it really made you want to tear your eyes out and freaking just say, wow, man, this game breaks me, man. And honestly, this is probably the point. Like I said in season 2, I had not cried probably up until maybe that. You know, after the little Kenny Jane decision, this is probably the part that broke me, man. And obviously, I picked to go with Kenny, but like I said, if you are like on the fence with Kenny, this is probably one of the harder decisions you had to make. And even if you were with him, obviously, think about the future. Even though obviously you can't foresee how season 3, you know, how terribly they did this choice, but honestly, at the time, this, you know, looking at the decision back about 3 years from now, 3 years back, you know. Really, in all honesty, maybe going into Wellington was the best thing, because that leaves that question mark of keeping Kenny alive. And that's what makes the decision even harder now, putting future influence into it. So that is our number 4 spot. Leave me tell me in the comments what you guys think of this. This decision obviously could be easily number 1 for some, but in my opinion, this is the number 4. And let's get straight on to number 3.
You saw that poor bastard at the motel? How fast he turned?
What are you saying?
Lily, I'm sorry. I truly am. But in a few minutes, we're going to be stuck in a locked room with a 6'4", 300-pound, seriously pissed off dead guy.
Fuck you! We can bring him back! Lee!
We'll mourn him later. But right now, we have to... Come on, Lee. You can't be in the middle on this one.
Number 3 is the kill Larry / try to save him decision. And the reason why I put this as a hard choice is the fact that we've obviously had conflict with Larry through season 1. Obviously, the first 2 episodes, Larry had been a complete asshole to us. We know that. And obviously, what made this decision harder is that we're in the hands of cannibals. And honestly, this is my favorite episode, in my opinion, of all the Walking Dead episodes. This one stands front and center above all the others. There was just every climatic possible thing, and the plot twist and the craziness in the episode was top notch. And this is why I honestly think the choice in the episode were also fantastic. And this choice was nothing short of exemplary. Telltale used obviously everything in their tools of magic just to make this episode work. And this choice was hard as fuck. Honestly, I had to pause for a little bit, because I had to think, what would be the impacts of killing Larry? What if he actually turns because of this as a result? And you have to decide. And then the killing Larry, Lily becomes mentally unstable, and you have to look at it that way. And honestly, it's up to the player. It's just a hard decision overall, and honestly, that's what puts it front and center. This episode was just so good. And that's my number 3 choice, guys. We only got 2 more to go here, and let's get straight into number 2.
I'll fucking kill you!
I knew you would!
Now, this choice right here, the Kenny and Jane choice, is probably one of the most emotional driven, heartbreaking. You know, they talked about this in the season 4 teaser, that this is just it was just overall what a terrible decision someone would have to make. And obviously that's exactly how I felt. This got me to my tears, seeing both how it ended both ways after originally picking my original playthrough with Kenny. Seeing him die, it just blew my mind. This is why it's a hard decision, because honestly, if you're on the fence about both these characters, this decision, it's crazy, because I didn't see this coming. I thought it would be a Luke and Kenny kind of situation maybe, but honestly, where they picked the decision where Kenny's got his knife right at Jane's throat. And then you have the decision now of having the gun. And after all the stuff you've been through with Kenny through season 1 and 2, it's in your hands whether to put him out of his misery or to say, screw you, Jane, I'm gonna let Kenny freaking, stab you right in the chest, and you're gonna go buy Gonzo for leaving that baby AJ. And the thing at the time, you didn't know about AJ. You didn't know Jane had left him in the car to try and show Kenny's true self. So honestly, at the time of this decision, you're thinking, oh my goodness, Kenny's about to stab Jane. What the hell? Jane has done nothing really that wrong, until you find out about what happened with the baby. And that's why this decision, at the time of this, not knowing what's going on, this decision could be difficult. If, like I said, if you're not a Team Kenny, Team Jane kind of person, you're in the fence about both. This decision is tough as fuck. And honestly, you have to go with your guts sometimes. And it's like, you really want to put Kenny out of his damn misery. Look at how sad this dang is. You don't want to do that. And then obviously the other option with leaving Jane alive, with leaving Kenny alive, you got to see frickin' Jane gets, you literally can look away, which is, like I said, the calm option, or you can literally be a savage, do nothing, and literally see Jane get stabbed in the chest. I mean, honestly, and you could just tell by the characters' tears and stuff. This is just one of the, like I said, I can go most emotional scenes in this game. This is probably top 3, definitely, for me, for sure. Honestly, there's only 3 times I said when I cried playing this game. Maybe I've been more, I might have forgot, but at least these are the 3 notable ones that I can remember. Lee's death, and the end of that. Obviously, number 2, I mentioned earlier in this video, was the Wellington Kenny decision, and number 3 was this choice, and obviously seeing Kenny, in the other playthrough, seeing Kenny die. It broke me mentally, and that's why I said this is one of my hardest decisions. It can break you mentally, and it definitely. Leave me in the comments what you guys thought of this choice. Honestly, for many this will be probably their number 1, but for me this is my number 2, and I think you guys know what is coming up here. It's our number 1 choice. I'm not gonna have any preview to this. We're just gonna go straight into this, and I'm gonna start. Let's get straight into it. Number 1, right here. You guys knew if you've been watching me, this is honestly, I can say this over and over again, this is the most emotional, hardest decision I've ever had to make, in my opinion. This is my number 1. It is the shoot/leave Lee option. And the reason why is because of all we went through in season 1. Obviously, this was a well-built relationship, and honestly, I was invested into it. I was invested into Lee and Clem. And honestly, Lee is my favorite character to the end. And just to see how he went out really put him over the top as me as a character. And obviously having to see this gruesome scene of Lee, in his final moments saying goodbye to Clem, and obviously, giving you the player the option to choose. And obviously if you don't choose, I actually never knew about this, if you didn't choose, Clem actually ends up making the decision for you, and based on past choices you had made in the season, which is actually really cool. But honestly, just everything they had gone through, honestly, and this was said, this is what broke me mentally. It broke everybody. I mean, this is what really, for me, made The Walking Dead one of the best games ever, in my opinion, if not one of the best game series. Just this single decision here, and the ending of Lee, and obviously having to see either Clem, shoot the protector, the savior, whatever you want to say, what Lee had been to her, or just leaving him to turn into a walker. I mean, it's just oh my goodness. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to do? I mean, honestly, do I want to kill Lee, just put him out of his dang misery, or do I want to just leave him, forget that pain, but have the regret of knowing that he's going to be a walker? It drives you nuts. And I still get people tons of times saying, Dom, Lee's going to come back, Lee's going to be a walker. It's just this how much the choice matters, and how much the choice actually means to people, is that people still think out of their crazy ass heads that they think Lee's going to come back. I know. That's how much Lee means to all of us. That's why I said this choice means so dang much to me personally, is that we have that investment with Lee, and the honesty with it. And honestly, you can easily swap number 1 with number 2. I mean number 1 with honestly, you could swap Kenny Jane against this, because honestly, it just depends on how you put the emphasis on the emphasis you put onto the choice. This choice was just mind blowing, folks, and that's why I have it at my #1 spot. Obviously, if you made it this far into the video, thank you guys again for watching. Please leave me your top 5 down below in the comments section. And if you made it this far, comment hashtag DTB Squad, and I'll be sure to heart your comment down below in the comment section down below. Make sure to check the straw poll at the end. Thank you guys, and make sure to check the card in the top right. And thank you all so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Season 4 is well on its way. Remember, first half 2018, which is, like I said, we're aiming for summer. April, May. So, keep it going, guys, and thank y'all for your support, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.